by the way, you're sharing videos of student performances, you have to make sure that all of the parents of the students in that video have signed consent release forms for their image to appear in the video. One of the worst mistakes you can make as an educator is to post a video of a student online, with their name associated with the image, which is completely taboo and I think at this point illegal, but also that if a student video is posted online without the parent's permission or the consent form being signed, you can get into quite a bit of trouble. The ability to create student-friendly environments is possible on YouTube. You can make a private group where videos can be shared only by an email invitation and they're not viewable by the rest of the public. However, one of the problems with YouTube is, of course, the fact that you can use profane language when you comment on a video. While it is easy to block profane language from videos within a controlled group that you've created, it is not possible to control language and even video content on publicly displayed videos. I hope that's clear. That's where most administrators and IT directors have a problem with YouTube, is the fact that you can, if you're sharing the video of Toscanini, it is possible that some wacko in the world will write on that video's comments section all kinds of nasty language, and we don't really want to expose our students to that on purpose, for sure. Last but not least, YouTube is a great place to feature student creativity. If they are making original film scores where they're shooting their own film, shooting a commercial, shooting any kind of video, and then creating original music to accompany it, what better place to showcase the video and the student work than on probably one of the most popular websites in the world. I'm going to share a video, and then I'm going to pause to see if there are any questions. So I'm now going to, as a tuba player, you heard in my bio, one of the amazing things about YouTube is if I put, instead of tuba lessons, if I put any instrument in there, I can find videos about how to play any instrument under the sun. So here's a quick video on the tuba.
Hello, this is Tuba Dylan, and this message is for Hector, who sent me an email asking how can one improve their high register playing on the tuba. There are many ways to improve your high register on the tuba, but I'll give you a couple of quick tips in your practicing that may be able to help. One thing one can do to improve their high register is a proper warm-up. And when I say that, I mean start low.
Okay, so I've learned a little bit about the tuba. At this point, I'm going to stop the presentation and see if there are any questions. So no questions about the different, stumbling blocks and rationale for YouTube? Great. Then I'm going to go back into my, by the way, if you have a question, at the bottom of the participant window, there's a little raise your hand button. When you click on that, I'll get a beep, and there'll be a hand next to your name, and that's the only way I can see if you have a question. And then I'll be able to unmute your microphone as well. Great. So there is a question, or at least I think there is, and that is from Scott Shaw. I am unmuting you, Scott, and you're all set.
Thank you very much, Jim. I was wondering, in fact, I had heard that some student videos could only be 10 minutes in length if it was a copyrighted musical piece. Is that correct?
Excellent question, Scott. I'm going to mute your phone, but the answer is that YouTube has actually set the limit of the length of the video to 10 minutes. I believe, I recall that they may have extended it, but I'm pretty sure it's only 10 minutes. There's also a size restriction. In terms of fair use, it is a little bit more nebulous than that. There's a guideline that says 30 seconds or 10%, whichever is less. That's actually not written in the law. As somebody who wrote a book on copyright law, I can tell you that as long as it's if you're going to share this with the world, you really need to be cognizant of, like, for example, if you're going to have your students do some film scoring to a thing like Fantasia, the longer the video, the higher the possibility that Disney will send you or send YouTube a message to pull it down. The worst that can happen to you if you were to do something like that is you get a nasty little email that says, do not do that again. But fair use gives you a lot of leeway, but it doesn't absolve you of, being able to post whatever you'd like. So hopefully that answers your question. Any other questions? All right, so I'm going to go back onto my desktop to share with you my presentation and talk a little bit about hurdles. I mentioned this earlier, but many IT directors and administrators just flat out block YouTube. They say that the reason they do it is that they don't want students being, exposed to foul language or inappropriate videos. I just want to let you all know something that IT directors might not actually want me to share with you. But while school districts block YouTube, blanket block policy, they absolutely have the ability to unblock just you and give just you, the teacher, the ability to log into YouTube. And I will tell you, and they may get mad at me, I'm sorry if there are IT directors listening, but it is completely possible to give you access to YouTube and no one else. They may say it isn't, but that's not entirely correct. What I would suggest is, if they're adamant about not letting students on it, say, well, at least let me on it so that I can use it judiciously, and you can trust me with the responsibility of doing so. In my opinion, it's a short-sighted approach to block it outright. It's the easy way. And in many schools, I basically, when I travel around the country and I visit school districts, I'd say it's about 40% of the schools that I've visited, they're allowed to use YouTube, and it's typically middle school and high school. But the other 60%, absolutely not. There's no way to do it. There are ways around that. Technically, I really shouldn't tell you them. But if you were to Google, let me just show you this, because, again, I really should not be showing this to you. A little bit irresponsible. But you are able, if you just search for download YouTube video, there's only millions and millions of videos that show you how to do it. I need to caveat that with that it is technically a copyright infringement to do so. And it's not a fair use to do that, but there are ways around it. Let me turn off this tuba lesson before it starts. It's too late. In my opinion, all students and all teachers have to sign an Internet Acceptable Use policy when they register for school, or if not on the first day. In my opinion, what's the point of having an Internet Acceptable Use policy and then not allowing students to show responsible use of the Internet in school? In my opinion, if you're in a lab environment and you see a student on YouTube using it inappropriately, tell them off and not let them use it. Tell them that their privileges are taken away. But I personally think that blocking it outright is a little bit short-sighted, and you're not really teaching digital citizenship. Because the bottom line is that those kids at home are on YouTube anyway, and what better person than you, the music teacher, or you, the teacher, to show them how to use it responsibly. Again, there are many copyright issues involved with YouTube. As you go to YouTube and search for copyright, there are plenty of videos that explain what is allowed and what isn't. With that, another video and another kind of category that I haven't mentioned yet, and that is actually I did mention this, but I'll play it to you because he's my favorite jazz pianist, Felonious Monk. And, if you search for any jazz artist and any song or any tune, you can see it. So this video is actually 100% legal. It was from a European TV station, and they did not have copyright protection on this program. What's great about this, before we let Felonious get into the head of the tune, is that on the right-hand side there are always suggestions. So if you like Felonious Monk, you might like Ella Fitzgerald's version of Felonious Monk around midnight. Or you might enjoy Felonious Monk playing Blue Monk with over 1.1 million views. And this is another legal performance, as many of the European countries in the 60s did not have copyright protection on their TV stations. again, having this library accessible to you, the music educator, is, in my opinion, just a stunning resource for you. All right, I'm going to move on before I take some more questions. And that is, it is possible to create an educational space on YouTube. And I'm going to go through that process shortly. By the way, the book, YouTube and Music Education, is on the online store for Soundtree. It's also on Amazon.com. There is a chapter that goes step by step, a tutorial on the process I'm about to show you in about 3 minutes. So if you are interested, really interested in doing this, I would recommend you buy the book and help me pay my daughter's college tuition. But you can create a school account for YouTube, and the way you would do that is simply log into YouTube, put your school's name, and I'll take you through that process very shortly. You can also create your own channel, which is very easy. As long as you have an account, you can create a channel. You can create a private group and share a video with only students who you give an email address to, or students that have an email address. There's no way to password protect a group, but you can give a email invite out. Obviously, that will probably preclude you from most elementary environments. But at the elementary school, if I were in that teaching situation, I would probably only use YouTube as a way to share videos in class. I probably wouldn't be sending my students to YouTube at home, just because of the hurdles that I mentioned earlier. You can subscribe to videos as well as video channels. That's a great way to stay informed. If you really like, for example, the first video that I showed you, Let's Get Started with Danny Fong, if you like the video, you can subscribe to it, and that way, anytime Danny creates a new video, you get a little email alert that tells you he's done that. And we're talking about controlling student comments on videos. So what I need to do to show you this is get into YouTube itself and pretend that I've never used YouTube before. So you'll see up here in the right-hand upper corner, it says Create Account. And when I click on that, let's see what happens. I may not be able to do this, but we'll give it a try. Under JT, my personal Gmail address, let's see, if I put in my email address and my username, let's pretend that I'm teaching at Melville Elementary School. And I will put in the name of the school, Melville Elementary. I'll put in the appropriate postcode. I'll put in my date of birth, which I'll just put as January 1st, 1970. I don't think there's... probably like a 16-year-old can do it. I'm a male. Let others find my channel if they have my email address. Well, if you don't want others to find it, you keep it blank, and if you do, you check it. I would like to receive a kit. No, I do not want any spam. Terms of use. You scroll down. As soon as you do, I usually don't read this, so I click accept. But if you're one of those rule readers, you may want to do that. So add to your Google account. Do I want to do that? I'm not so sure I do. Let's see. Sign into the Google. All right, let's try it anyway. Let's see what happens when I do that.